My entitled mother-in-law is threatening legal action because I said she can't see the grandkids for one weekend. It was a good reason too. Here's exactly what happened. So, this has been my weekend, guys. Friday night around 10:30 p.m., my mother-in-law texted my hubby, H, informing us she would be at the apartment to get the kids Saturday evening. This was worded as an FYI, not a request. At the time, she was informed that we have plans for Saturday evening, but she could get them Sunday if weather permitted. She argued this, but gave in. Saturday night comes and the roads are not safe. Mixed snow and rain all day, with more in the forecast for Sunday. Hubby texted mother-in-law that the kids would not be going anywhere because of the road conditions. She agreed that the roads were bad and we thought that was the end of it. Sunday, hubby went to work and the kids and I went about our normal weekend routine. Then, at noon, mother-in-law showed up on my porch, informing me she was taking the kids, and had the stuff to cut their hair, which had never been discussed. I reiterate that husband had told her the kids were not leaving. Don't you remember, the roads are not safe? She proceeded to scream at me that she can take the kids whenever she wants to because, quote, they are mine. I told her, have a good day, then shut and locked the front door. I then text husband to let him know what's gone and to expect her to contact him. She sat in my parking lot for 10 minutes, screaming at him, then left. When she left, I called a friend to come over in case she comes back before husband comes home from work. The day was going normal until 3 p.m. when someone tries to walk into the apartment without knocking, and then began pounding on the door. Mother-in-law was back, knowing there was about 5 hours until husband got home. I did not open the door. She started calling and texting husband at work, telling him to call her or she would call the cops. He did not. About an hour before he got off, she texted him saying that she had called and was waiting for them to arrive. Husband took a different route home, which allowed him to avoid walking past her car, and went about our normal night. Kids' bath and bedtime since there was school the next day. She finally pulls out of the parking lot at 9:30 p.m., 6.5 hours after arriving. The texts and calls have not stopped, and today she left hubby a voicemail threatening legal action if he does not call her and let her see the kids. We removed her from all the kids' information at their schools in case she tries to go that route, and we're currently looking for a lawyer to make sure nothing happens. Quick little edit, my state does not have grandparents' rights. To reassure everyone about the kids while they're at school, the school was notified on the situation Monday. She's not allowed to enter the school and pick them up. She had zero access to them from the school building. And last edit, I am the stepmom to the younger two. They do know their biological mom, but it still limits my legal right for now. But we are working on me adopting them. The oldest is mine from a previous marriage. And a quick update, she's been texting husband at work today, acting like nothing happened. But he's been ignoring the messages. Guys, I'm actually deeply worried about the safety of OP, her husband, and children. This grandmother is off her rocker. She's displaying a lot of red flags, but in simple, my answer is no. OP, you're not the a-hole. In fact, I think that you should maybe consider reporting her behavior to the police. Things could escalate and get way worse. The fact that she stayed there for hours on end, just sitting in your driveway waiting for hubby to get home, yeah, huge red flag. Guys, let me know your thoughts on this story in the comment section down below. You know I love reading the comments. Our next story is quoted, "Get married and have babies because you owe us grandchildren." Okay guys, let's get right into story number 2. I'm a 38-year-old woman. I have a great career and a loving boyfriend who's 31. Great pets and friends. I've never ever wanted kids. 5 years ago, I ended a relationship with a man named Jason, who I thought wanted the same things I did. We've been together for 2 years. In 2015, we'd travel together, read comics, play video games, and do all kinds of fun things. I'd always been honest with Jason that I never wanted kids. He told me he did not either. Then, in the summer of that year, I began to notice changes in him. He would talk about how great our friends' kids are. He tried to get me to spend time with his nephews, even though I wasn't close to them. He's also been talking to my parents way more than usual. Then, one evening, he said he wanted to have dinner with the whole family. I found this a bit strange as I don't often spend time with my family, but for him, I agreed. We were having dinner, my parents and siblings, my brother and sister, they were there. Then he dropped a bomb on me. He got down on one knee and said, "Baby, I love you. I want you to be the mother of my children." What the actual duck was the first thing that came out of my mouth. We've not talked about getting married, much less kids. I never wanted kids and was not ready for marriage. I took him to another room and asked him what the hell he was doing. He dropped another bomb and told me he's been talking to my parents about us getting married and starting up a family. Yeah, let that sink in. He talked to my parents, not me, about our future. He said he had asked my dad's permission and my dad's permission before he asked for my consent. I was furious. All this was obviously meant to pressure me to say yes. My mother, being nosy, walked right into the room where we were and asked what was wrong and why I had not said yes. I told her and the whole family that they need to leave. When they left, I tore Jason a new a-hole. I asked him how dare he assume I was going to marry him and have kids with him, when I've made it very clear I did not want those things. He told me he was hoping that I would, quote, grow up and want something meaningful. He had the gall to act like I was the bad person in all this. I threw him out the following day and ended the relationship for good. My parents were pissed at me. My mom cried about how she's been looking forward to getting grandchildren from me and how I let her down. My siblings told me that I've made a huge mistake by letting such a nice guy go. My dad actually told me to apologize to him. Their behavior told me that my desires and consent did not matter to them one bit. They just wanted me to follow the same life script that they did. Well, till today, I have not forgiven them. Mostly because they still think that they're right and my ex was right. My current boyfriend and I have been together for 3 years. He and I share the same passions and he had a vasectomy, so I feel much more secure when he says that he does not want children. My parents and siblings are no longer a part of my life. I hardly ever call to see them and I'm happier that way. I've never spoken to Jason again, though he did try to reach out. He maintained contact with my parents for some time, hoping that they'd force me to change my mind. I still believe that what he did was scummy, to say the least, but I bear him no ill will and I hope he's happy. The fact that the parents tried to blindside, and even her boyfriend did, that's a huge red flag in a toxic environment. I'm glad OP is now safe and happy, and she's not forced to do stuff she doesn't want to do. Let me know what you guys think of this in the comment section down below, as I can see why her ex might have had a point of the fact that he wanted children. This was just not the way to go about it. Okay guys, our final story of the day. All you need to learn my language when I give birth to my kid. Also, give me a free apartment. Yeah, you heard it correctly. Here comes the final story of the day. So, I'm an educator working in foster care for female migrants who are victims. Our range is 17 to 31, and I live with these women in an apartment. 2 of them are pregnant. The women I'm talking about live over 1 year in Germany, and I swear to God she cannot speak one sentence in German. On top of that, she can also not speak English. I just started this job in February, so I asked my boss about it, and she told me that this woman flat out refuses to learn German or English. I taught German and English to refugees before in other jobs, so especially with schools being closed due to Corona, I taught English, German, and math several times a week on top of my normal work. She never participated once. She's 39 weeks pregnant, and I have to bring her to the hospital. Not only did she complain the whole 20 minutes in French, I understood her, but my French is not good enough that I could answer. That I did not drive her my car. She also made a fuss in the hospital. I swear to goodness, I've never apologized for someone's behavior this many times in 3 hours. It was planned that I only bring her to the hospital and a French doctor would then plan the birth with her. This French doctor did not exist. So the hospital literally ripped their arms and legs out to find anyone who speaks French. One nurse of a different area came over. Her French was good enough to explain the basics, but we have to redo this appointment with a translator because her French skills were not good enough to 100% legally plan a birth. Yes, it was bad that the French actor was not there, but what annoys me, she literally expects everyone to learn French, to be able to talk to her, but refuses to learn German or English. I have a lot of patience and worked with over 200 migrants at this point. Also, professionally teaching German classes for non-speakers. She's the only person I've ever witnessed who literally refuses to learn 2 sentences. She cannot even buy food in stores in German. She's the definition of one entitled parent for me. She also demanded the government, my boss, to pay her for a free 3-room apartment plus paid food, because apparently her 15-meter room, plus free money for food and shared kitchen living room, is not enough for her and the baby. I also want to highlight, she is one of those cases where we are 80% sure that she made her story up. She told us a story, quote, how she came here, what a victim she was. 5 women before already told our boss. Same names, same scenarios. We probably think that there's some people who will tell these women these stories and tell them, quote, hey, say this and this so you have a better chance to stay in Germany. I would never bash a traumatized woman for needing time to adjust, but she does not even know how to say I am good, I am tired, I am fine in German when I asked her how she's doing. How does she want to live on her own in her own government-paid apartment? I'm actually feeling sorry now for these children who will grow up with such an entitled mother. I know learning a new language as an adult can be so daunting and downright hard. Here's a comment that I want to read. I don't understand the concept of going to another country, especially if you plan to live there, and not even trying to learn their language. I get that learning a new language to an adult is very difficult. You may not pick up much, but at least try. We lived in Germany for the past 3 years, and my German is absolutely horrendous. And I'm definitely a little embarrassed that I haven't learned more. But I know enough to scrape by. It's just common courtesy to learn the locals and put in some effort. Okay guys, that wasn't exactly my direct opinion, but let me know what you think of that comment. Do you agree? If you plan to go to another country to live, you should learn their language. I would love to hear your opinion on this topic, so drop the comments down below. My name's Mr. Reddito. I hope each and every one of you have an amazing night. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.